Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to see you tonight. Just a quick reminder for those who haven't possible to attend a past session, it's important to request the video, please, and see it. It's part of the requirement for your graduations. And if you have any question, please feel free to contact me or contact the administrator as well. So welcome everyone. I'm very excited because we have a top-notch presenter speaker today in our topic number 3, AI tools for your career. And our top-notch presenter is Carlos Paz-Soldan. But before that, the rules, you already know, please write down your questions in the chat, mute your microphone, and be respectful of each other. And well, I let you know that we are recording this session and the webinar will be available for you as well. So Carlos Paz-Soldan, he is originally from Peru. He's an IT professional, has been worked in different companies, large, small, and in Africa, North America, South America. And after completing his MBA at the University of Toronto, Carlos founded the Computer Group Inc. in Toronto. And he has been an entrepreneur. He now is the president of Techmian Corporation, and he's very active in the Hispanic community, IT community as well. He has been a presenter, he has been a speaker in different events, and he's been participating in several advisory boards as well. And he's successful Latin American technology professional as well. And well, in the part of the charity, he's with the Alma Children's Education Foundation to improve education in remote regions of South America. Welcome, Carlos Paz-Soldan. Let's get started. Your presentation. Looking forward to it.
Okay, great. Thank you very much. We have a lot of material to cover, so I'm going to jump right into the presentation. If you have any questions, please put them in the chat, and we can cover a lot of them at the end of the session. So I'll start sharing my presentation. So hopefully you can see this. You will be able to download the slide deck. It's 106 slides. We are not going to cover all of them in this presentation, obviously. If you can see on the screen, the ones we will be covering are the sections that have the mentorship version. So let's get right into it. As you can see, there's quite a bit more. We have done presentations in the past about some of the other topics. This presentation has been updated as of last week, and the one that you download is the latest version as well. So there are a lot of updates. We may be doing additional presentations about AI in general, but in this particular presentation, we're focused on the mentorship program and the uses of AI for planning your career and your jobs and executing your job search. So let's get started. So basically, AI is here now. There is no question about it. It may or may not be as as much as the hype has been in the last couple of years, but it is definitely a tool that is already being used and by many organizations and many people as well. So it is something that you have to definitely get used to, try to leverage as much as you can. From an introductions point of view, I think Yvette already covered this part. The only reason I want to emphasize is that In my day job, I work mostly with Microsoft technology, so you will hear in the presentation reference to some Microsoft tools. There are equivalent tools, and I'll mention them as we go as well. Equivalent tools from multiple other vendors, but my expertise, if you will, is on the Microsoft side of things. I don't sell those tools. No, you're free to buy whichever one you prefer as well. Uh, this is a quick survey that I was doing, and I've been doing presentations on this generative AI topics since November, not last year, but the year before. And this was one of the questions I would usually start with. I have a LinkedIn article on this. At this time, I am hoping that everybody's already on the at least the C category of no, consideration for AI. Uh, some people are still concerned and skeptic and so on, but as professionals, I think we pretty much need to move very fast towards the C category, learning and experimenting. And ideally, in the next year or so, we will all be in the pragmatic side. So we will be all using artificial intelligence for the purposes that are appropriate, and which are those. The the other presentation covers a lot of the when to use, when not to use, and so on. But so I won't bother you with this survey, just to be aware that it is, you can be opposed to AI if you will. If you can have all kinds of ideas, but from a professional point of view, you pretty much have to be adopting it already. So let's skip the concepts and explanation about AI and so on, and I will go right into AI in your life and your career. So how to how to make sense of it. It is important to know that AI is something that you can use to get competitive advantage as an organization and as a person as well, as an employee or as an entrepreneur. If you don't use it, other people will be using it, and then you might be the one of the feared people that don't get advantage of the tool and then get lost. You can imagine if you had not adopted email in the 80s and 90s, that would have been pretty detrimental for your career. So AI is in at least the same category, probably higher category. It would be like if you hadn't decided not to adopt computers and email and internet, that's the disadvantage you would be at with people that are adopting it. So how do we get into the AI? First of all, you need to realize that this is a permanent change. It is not something that is, is not a fad. It's not going to go away. The same way that the internet came and never went. It's around forever. It is also something that is touching every aspect of our lives, on the professional, society, arts, and so on. So it is something that is very pervasive, and the more we understand it and take advantage of it, the better. It is or has it is bound to become what is called a general purpose technology, similar to using computers and using Microsoft Office or email or that kind of thing. So there is no question that this is something you need to adapt. And in this presentation, we will show you some of the potential ways you can be using it, specifically for job search, but also you can see where it could be useful for other purposes as well. So again, it's there's no reason to panic. Nobody's is losing their job tomorrow because of this. But it is important to start acting now. In fact, to already have been acting for a few months. So time to catch up if you haven't been doing it. Some general principles for AI, and you'll notice that it mentions Gen AI. In general, when people are talking about AI these days in the news and so on, they are really referring to generative AI. The distinction is explained again in the other presentations. So if I say AI or generative AI or Gen AI, we're talking about the no, the generative AI version of AI, if you will. And so there is a number of principles that you need to adopt, and I'll show you why some of those are how they happen as well. One of them is you have to distrust the solutions that are proposed by AI and verify. And typically, you would say trust and verify. In this case, is distrust and verify. The technology is still fairly new in its life cycle, so there is a lot of expectations that have been hyped and some use cases that are not proper, where it won't behave as well as you would expect. It won't be as useful as you would expect. It is important to experiment, to try using it pretty much for everything you do professionally and in any of your day life. That's how you actually learn to be more familiar with the technology. You probably heard that it takes 10,000 hours to become good at something. That is probably true as well for generative AI, but it takes at least 10 hours for you to get to find your way moving within the models and the type of uses that you can have. So definitely start experimenting and figuring out where it works, where it doesn't work, where it could help you and not. From a professional point of view, I have a slide coming up that gives you a bit more guidance on that as well. It is also important that you remain the human in the loop. Do not take yourself out of the loop. So, for example, a simple example is if somebody uses it to do their homework or to prepare their reports, and they consider the output of generative AI the end result, then you pretty much took yourself out of the equation. Who needs you? What is your purpose if the machine is going to be providing the answers? You should be the human that actually applies logic, considers the AI as a part of your intelligence, but not a replacement of your intelligence. And using it to cheat is only going to work against you in the short term or in the long term. So be aware that you're not the only one that has this tool. Other people that learn to use it better will have a high advantage against yourself. Something that is counterintuitive is to think, when you're working with the AI, to think of it as a person. Normally they tell you do not anthropomorphize. It's a tendency humans have to, from the caves, I guess, to anthropomorphize things. So that's how we create statues and figurines that we consider gods, and how we think of the clouds as heaven and so on. AI, when you interact with it, it seems to be like a person, but it is not a person. But it helps you when you treat it as a person, just to get some of the results. But always keep in mind it is not a person, but treat it like a person. At this point, you may have heard that generative AI is considered, especially since the GPT-4 versions, it now has the capabilities of an intern. Somebody that is capable of some functions, but not always right. That doesn't have all the knowledge, which is great, because otherwise we would be in trouble. But there are some new versions that are now have the capability of a PhD, and those, I'll show you a couple of those in a few minutes. So, probably the last item to keep in mind is the AI that you use today is the worst you'll use in your life. Every new version that comes up is going to be better. So you can use it to solve more difficult problems as we go along, and it is definitely a field that is moving very, very fast. So definitely you have to start getting on the bandwagon to go with it. So some recommendations. I would say don't get too confused or too overwhelmed with the barrage of products that are coming out. Try to pick a family of products. Like OpenAI has ChatGPT, Google has Gemini, Anthropic has Claude. There is a whole bunch of those. In the presentation, you will find the links to all of the different versions. But I would say pick one of them because in my case, I work mostly with OpenAI, ChatGPT, and even with that, it's hard to keep up with all the announcements and all the tricks and traps and how to use it properly and so on. If you try to get into too many of them, then you're just going to waste a lot of time. And that typically applies to every technology. If you're in technology long enough, you'll see that different vendors release different products and they keep leapfrogging each other. So don't chase the latest feature. Just stick to one. Pick one of the well-known names. Like you cannot go wrong with Google, with OpenAI, with Microsoft, and then learn to use those tools as opposed to all the other things that come up. You'll probably find a lot of newsletters and a lot of LinkedIn articles saying these are the top 120 tools in AI that you need to know. There's a new 120 tool list every 5 minutes, so don't waste a lot of time on that. Probably it is important though to select at what level you are involved with this technology. You cannot escape it. You will be using it at some point, but are you going to use it just as a curiosity while you're learning? No, that is probably okay for the first few weeks. Then you become a casual user. Once you adopt it into your professional user life as a user, then you start getting a lot of benefit. But you can get even more involved on that if that is part of your career. You can be a business analyst, developer, strategist, and so on. I presume most of the people in the call will be at the professional user. You use it for the work that you need to do on a professional setting. If you use it for recipes and other stuff, that's fine too. So just choose what you're going to do. Stay informed. Don't get overwhelmed. And
we have a question from Titlali. Carlos,
yes. Yeah.
No, thank you, Carlos. It's not a question. Just if you can, Carlos, speak a little louder, please.
Okay.
And yeah. So thank you. Sorry for the interruption.
No problem.
Fair enough. Okay, I'll try that. So one example of the importance of being, of choosing is something that I don't know how many are aware of the announcement that came up just over a week ago. It's breaking news. It was on Thursday, on September 12th. There is a new model from OpenAI. They call it the O1 model. The previous model was O. Now this is the O1. And there is a preview version of it. It has the ability to think, and I'll show you what that means. If you're in this field, you probably are hearing about this. It has been a big deal. I'll show you what this actually means, and we'll use it as a way to demonstrate some of the things it can do. So let me launch it. Okay, so this is my basic ChatGPT. I will go to my now I have the Plus version right now. This is available to the O1 is available to Plus users, but the 4.0 is available to anybody. you see here, now the new O1 model solves the strawberry challenges. I don't know if you heard about the strawberry challenges. If you work in OpenAI, the strawberry was the internal name of the project. And the reason is for this is if you ask normal ChatGPT something like how many R's in strawberry.
Mm-hmm.
And now this is again a large language model. It has been trained with $100 billion worth of data and so on. And you see the response. It says that there are 2 R's in strawberry. Now, how wrong is that? No, obviously there are 3 R's. Now you don't need to be an English major to know that. But this was a challenge to the versions of models that are available right now, because of the way they operate, the way they look at tokens and pieces of words and so on. But it's definitely an incorrect answer. Now, if you say something like, "Are you sure?" then the model will insist that it is correct, that there is only 2. In fact, we all know that there is 3. So if I say count them, and if you've been using ChatGPT or most of the models, you may have run into situations like this where the model gives you an answer, is very confident, but is wrong. And even if you ask it to check again until it actually counts, then it realizes that there is a problem. Now, you wouldn't expect this from something that cost 100 billion, but it has been a challenge. So this is one of the strawberry problems, the counting the number of R's. What it did is when I asked it to count, it actually did an additional look at the question and the response, and it corrected itself based on that. There is, if I switch to, let me try the other strawberry problem that you may have heard about as well. Sorry about that. I'm just recovering from COVID since yesterday. But here you see another situation. If you ask GPT a simple question, I put a strawberry inside the cup, I turn it upside down, and then I move the cup to a microwave, and I ask where is the strawberry. It thinks that it's in the microwave. Obviously, it is not in the microwave. It is on the table because you turned the cup upside down. If we use the same question with the new model, and I'll show you what the new model actually, how it operates. So, same question, latest model. This is the one available since September 12th. You'll see that it actually thinks and is doing a number of thinking things. It's reasoning, and I'll show you what that was. It actually took 12 seconds to answer this, but now it comes up with the right answer. It says that the strawberry is on the table. It's no longer on in the cup. Now, the thinking process, what it did in those 12 seconds is detailed here. So it actually did all this in order to correct itself. So this is important for a number of the problems that are available. If I ask it about the the number of R's in strawberry, it will also come up with the right answer. So that's what they call the strawberry challenges, and they have been resolved after $100 billion and this latest model. Now, what it did is it implemented something called chain of thought. So in the old models, old as of a week ago, if you ask a question, you get a response, and you have to ask again, and so on. So these new models will actually do the chain of thought and the reinforced learning. They will look at their answers and evaluate them and so on. So this is just to show you why it's important to pick one and learn how to use it. This type of announcements are coming out from every vendor pretty much every week. So but it's interesting to see how it can give you incorrect answer and how things are being worked on to improve them. Now, getting into something that is more probably closer to our hearts, when I've been doing this presentation, like I say, for close to a year and a half now, and usually at the end or at some point, there is a question that comes up. Is AI going to take my job? How safe is my job? Are we in trouble? And so on. So before you freak out, there is different ways to analyze your position. So the first thing is to identify the components of what you do. So, and this is how it's broken down, and then identify within those components whether they are something that could be fully delegated to AI, so they could be automated, something that could be partially delegated to AI, or something that just cannot be delegated to AI. And then you'll end up with something similar to this. So for example, for a business analyst, a lot of the work can benefit from AI. Some of it, not a lot, can be automated. Some of it at the top can be automated, and there is a portion that cannot be automated. For a telemarketer, it's actually it has more exposure. A lot of it can be automated. Including...
No, just sorry for interruption.
Yeah.
It's 6:30,
yes.
And I think we will be important to see all the AI tools that you brought us today as well.
Okay. Sorry, was that a question?
Yeah. So we will jump to the AI tools, the one that you selected for tonight's session. We will see them.
Yes. Oh, yeah, for sure. The ChatGPT is one of them.
Okay.
And that is a tool that is available, to a lot of people. So I'm actually getting into that in the next slide as well.
Okay.
So this analysis is actually important because you should understand what is happening in your career and how you're potentially going to benefit or not benefit from artificial intelligence. So this is something that is important to understand. Now we have. I'll go into the next slide. So this is the type of impact that AI could have in the careers. So again, if you're a telemarketer or you're an engineer or you're a developer, it will have different type of impact. To know, to facilitate this analysis, we have created a GPT. It is available in Hispanotech in the tools section of our website. So this is an application just running on ChatGPT that will help you navigate that will help you navigate your career and the type of work that you do. So, for example, if let me just go to So this one is a tool. Again, it's available. It's available for free from Hispanotech. So if I say, let me ask a question to it. So I work as a customer service rep in a large retailer in Canada. Will AI replace me? So this tool will tell you what type of impact AI may have in your career. So there is a possibility to augment some of the different tools that you can use and so on. Now, can I ask something like, so my salary will keep increasing, which from a career planning point of view might be important to know. So in fact, it is not necessarily going to increase. Most likely, as you can expect, the impact is often a reduction in a number of tasks and so on. So it is important to understand this type of impact in your career, in your job, because it may not affect you directly on a one-on-one basis, but it may affect the department that you work on. So now, why is it important to know this? I guess number one, you want to know if you should go into that career or not, if you're looking for a job. Because again, things have changed. This is not the same as 5 years ago. In fact, it's not even the same as 2 years ago. So it's important to know what you're walking into, and how you might be if the number of people working in that type of job will go away. How do you remain as one of the people that stay as opposed to go away? And this type of tool will tell you that. The tool itself is trained on information or reports created by the Wharton School of Business from Penn State, from the Conference Board of Canada, and from Stanford University as well. We will be adding also a study done by Microsoft on impact on the job market. So this is not something that the GPT, that the model is just making things up. This is based on studies that have been done by reputable organizations. So this is one tool that you definitely should be taking a look at to understand your career. The link is at the bottom of this slide, and if you go into in the Hispanotech website, I'll show you where you find it as well.
Carlos, just to double check, all the mentees have access to the Hispanotech website?
Oh, right? Yeah, it's a public website. It's available to anybody.
Okay.
Yeah, we created these tools as a service to the community. I mean, it's publicly available around the world, but of course we train things mostly focused on Canada, and the Americans benefit from it as well. So if you go in the website under What's New Tools, you'll find a number of those tools.
What's New Tools? Okay.
Yeah, and the actual link is hispanotech.ca/tools. But all the links are on the presentation. Like whenever you see this type of icon on the slide, you click it, and it will take you there. In this case, it's going to AI My Job SmartBot app, which is that application. So I'll keep moving on this. Now, going more specifically to your job search, how is AI? How can you use AI in your job search? And here we get into some more of some of the other tools as well. First of all, it's important to understand the workflow that you are a part of. When you're, this screen shows the job seeker's journey. If you are in the, obviously you're in the mentorship program, you may recognize some of these steps as the same areas that are being presented to you as well, starting from self-assessment and then improving your resume and preparing for the interviews and so on. So there's a number of steps in a job search, and once you're onboarded, frankly, that's really where the work starts, right? Now you have to not just keep that job, but also get promoted, succeed, and so on. So, sorry.
No problem. Well, it's
Okay.
a long journey. We should start right now.
Well, in a way, it's also a permanent journey.
Yes, it is.
People should be reassessing their goals, their industry, and so on. So you actually take control of your career, not be driven by the job market or by the next recession. But at each of these stages, there will be opportunities to use the tools that we're showing. So let's get into some of the more important ones. You probably are familiar with. Before I get into that, the same way that you understand the job seeker journey, your journey, it's important that you understand the journey of the employer. To put yourself on the shoes of the person or company recruiting you, or the people that are thinking of hiring you. Because if you don't understand where they're coming from, you won't understand some of their considerations and behavior and so on. So it's very important to understand where they're coming from as well. And AI can also help you a lot on this type of thing. Help you doing research, for example. So there is. I'll show you some of those examples as well in a minute. Now, if we want to just before we get too far, because this will show up on the demo as well. I presume everybody is already familiar with what is an applicant tracking system. It's in applications that are used by corporations to track applicants that are, when there is an opening and you get hundreds or thousands of responses online and so on, this would be overwhelming. So there's a whole category of products for companies to manage the application process. It's in HR system, and some of the systems are quite sophisticated by now. They help not just on the filtering of resumes, which is probably where you heard applicant tracking systems use the most, and you probably hate some of them. But the ATS is what the employer needs to use. Otherwise, they will not be able to perform the workflows in the volumes that are required for companies. The larger the company, the higher the volume and the more need they have for this. So some of the functions that are done by the ATSs would include publishing of jobs, of openings, collecting the responses, parsing the resumes to see which ones might be considered or not, doing screening, some of them even schedule interviews automatically and so on. So all this is on the employer side. But it's important that you know it because this may be your worst enemy. When I hear people saying, I'm sending 100 resumes and nobody calls me back, it's probably because you didn't make it past the ATS. The ATS filter basically filtered you out. No person got to see all the wonderful things you've done. And why is this? And we have the tools to help you with that as well. Is because the applicant tracking systems, when they implement resume scoring, for example, or they try to do a match of a resume, and these are screenshots of the more popular ones, Talio, ICIMS, and so on. So look at these screens in detail when you have a chance, but you will. This is what the recruiter is looking at. They don't see your resume. This is what they see. They see 92%, and how did 92% come up? You had certain keywords and you have mentioned them a number of times and so on. Or they may be looking for skills, and this is how they do a search. So it's a large database of applications, of resumes that they receive. They mostly don't get to see the resume. They get to see what the ATS system has presented for them. A number of things, and this is detailed in the next couple of slides. Format confusion. If you do a pretty resume, could be the worst thing for you, because if you use columns, you're confusing the ATS. The ATS is not very sophisticated as far as trying to identify what is what. So it will read skills and ability, cat red Portland, because that's the next text on the line. So it confuses the address with skills and abilities, and your rating goes way down, and you never get a call. Nobody gets to see this. So some of the recommendations that, and you will probably hear some of this on the presentations for resume preparation as well. Identify what the keywords are, what the important keywords are for the opening that you're looking at, and I'll show you a couple of ways of doing that with the tools we have. The formatting, use very simple layout, no tables, no columns, bullet points as much as possible, standard fonts, no big variations. You may want to have a second version of the same resume in a prettier format for the actual interview. When you show up to the interview, then you could share a prettier version of it. But for the initial filtering, having a prettier version is the worst thing you could do, because it will just not make it through the ATS. Use a PDF or Word format. Make sure the name has a descriptive, the file has a descriptive name, something like resume of Peter, whatever. Don't make it a fancy name. We all try to keep it as simple as possible, because the ATS is not very sophisticated. Presumably in the future they will become more sophisticated. They will use AI and so on. But the simpler you make it for the software, then the better off you are, and the more chances that you will make it past through the ATS. So let me let me show you an example of how you would use some of the tools that we have for this. So, for example, I hope everybody knows that Hispanotech has a job board. It is available to the public. It's free to use for all our members. You can look for openings, and you can also apply here at different places. You could even load your resume, and employers could search your resume. But at the very least, you should be aware that we post, I believe every weekend we post probably between 10 and 20 new jobs, and many of them are targeted to our members. So definitely be you can subscribe as well, by the way. You can sign up for alerts, so you can be notified when a new job is posted. But let's do an example here. So, for example, I'll get. In case you're wondering how to get there, the shortcut was there, but if you go in the website, it's under job board.
Job board.
In job board, you have for employers, for job seekers. If you go for job seekers, then you get to the page that has all the, and you can do searches and so on. So let's get back to one of these guys. I'll start the new. Okay. Let's say I'm interested in one of the in one of those jobs, but let's start with something simple, with just a plain free tool, no 4.0. I want to one of the things that you normally are uh, that you're told is you should create an elevator pitch. So if I want to have an elevator pitch for myself, I can use these tools. And again, this is just standard ChatGPT or Gemini or any other model. You can feed it your resume and ask it to create a 30-second elevator pitch. And then it actually makes an elevator pitch for you. Later, I'll show you a tool that everybody, all the mentees will get access to, that allows you to practice this elevator pitch, to see how it sounds, how are you delivering it, how are you pronouncing it. That's also an AI-based tool, but it's important that you find how do you define yourself? This is basically the short version of your resume, of your career, of what you're looking for. So this is very important, and the generative AI is one of the perfect uses for this to summarize.
Also, we can use this for our LinkedIn profile.
Yep, I have an example of that on the on the next section as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
makes sense to me.
Yeah, but we don't, and you can keep refining this until you're happy with it as well. And if you have the tool that mentees will get to practice their elevator pitch, then you can have something that you find easy to pronounce, because sometimes we come up with words that are just hard to pronounce for us. So this, you can modify it until you have an elevator pitch that you can actually deliver. So this is just again basic ChatGPT, nothing fancy. Now, if I go into, let's start. The tool that, okay, I'll get to it from the website so you know how I got to it. So if I go into tools and I choose Job Seeker Advisor.
Interesting, an advisor.
Yep.
For enhancing our resumes and the preparation of for an interview. Okay.
Yep. So this is a customized version of ChatGPT. It's the link is on our website. We don't charge anything for this. It's available to everybody as well. But what I may want to, let's say I'm interested on one of the jobs in the job board, which I have the link here.
I like the implementation consultant. Oh, which one do you? Marketing data scientist.
Yeah, marketing data scientist. This was actually posted 3 days ago, so it's a fresh job. Scene Plus, if you go to the movies, you probably heard of Scene Plus. You collect points when you go to different things. But let's say I'm applying. I'm interested in this marketing data scientist position. So I can go to the GPT and say something like. What questions might I be asked for an interview for this job? So if I'm interested in this job, what question might come up in the interview? So these are some of the questions for a marketing data scientist looking for a position at Simplus, which is a real company. This is a real job, and these are some of the questions that ideally you should be prepared for before that interview comes up, whether it's on the phone or whether it's in person. You should be able to answer these things. Now, let's say I am not sure how would I answer this. So, and this may not be just because, no, it may just be a language question, a language issue. You probably know all this stuff. You're applying for this job, but because of language reasons or whatever, you may not know this. So this gives you a guideline of how you could answer that question. For an underperforming campaign, I acknowledge, analyze, adjust, blah, blah, blah. Of course, you don't need to memorize this. The purpose is not to memorize. This is...
It's more like a guide for you. Or,
yeah, and that's what I mean by think of it as a person. You could think of this as a professional advisor, a mentor, a friend, a colleague, and you are not sure about something and you ask it, and this is what your colleague comes with, and then you can continue asking and conversing with the tool about this. So you actually get a full-time expert on everything when you're using this type of tools. Now let's.
And I have a question from Jose Miguel. That it's this is a question. Does it make sense to pay the monthly fee for an AI such as ChatGPT or Gemini? To pay, or if we have the Hispanotech website,
I would start with the free versions because until April this year, you had to pay in order to get access to things like these custom GPTs that we created. They had you had to buy the ChatGPT Plus license. Since April, they made custom GPTs available to even the free license. So you don't need to pay to get access to this. What you will have though is a limit to how many questions you can ask.
Okay.
But to get started and to see if it's good for you or not, and like I say, to decide if you really should be looking at ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude, or you can use the free tools, and then when you decide that you want to get more serious about this, then for sure it's worth paying the $20 a month or whatever it is. Because this is gonna make a huge difference in your career. Now let's say, continuing with this example, I'm still interested in this Scene Plus job application. So I want to ask, and this is something that I would recommend to everybody that before they go for an interview, and maybe even before they consider the organization for a job, ask them. So I'm asking here to look at the website and to let me know what are the current challenges, what are the most likely current challenges that Scene Plus is facing. So it actually looks at 5 different sites, and it tells me what is happening. Scene Plus is a loyalty program, like I say, it's points for going to the movies and so on. So some of the challenges are managing consumer expectations, data utilization, competitor loyalty programs, and so on. It would be extremely important for you to be aware of these things before you go to an interview, because on one hand, it informs you about the company. And you can probably think about how you might help, how you might contribute to the organization by knowing and resolving some of these issues. Now, let's say I'm
sorry for the interruption again. So it's 4 minutes before 7. So what about if we take the photo group?
Oh, okay.
And then we can
escape.
Exactly. No, but it's a good moment, and if our audience have any question, it's a good moment. And then we can stay and see all the rest of the tools that you want to show us.
Okay. Yep.
So we will start with the photo,
Do I have to stop sharing?
Jose Miguel, do we need to stop the presentation?
Nope.
I guess
No,
not
okay.
needed.
No, not needed. Okay.
But I need to smile.
We need to smile, yes.
Okay, once again, please. You will show a prompt in front of you. Please allow to take the picture after most of the people enable the allow. We can download the picture. Thank you so much.
Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much.
Okay, so I can carry on?
Thank
For
you,
sure, go
everyone.
ahead.
Yes, please. Yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So while the picture was being taken, I uploaded my resume. Well, it's not my resume; it's a fake resume, but it's for somebody that has experience in marketing and finance. So I'm asking here to the job seeker advisor. Here's my resume. How well does it align with this opening? So it gives me an analysis, an assessment of how well, is this a good job for me or not? Now, in addition, the tool will also give you what are the ATS keywords that you should make sure to emphasize in your resume, so it matches what the employer is most likely looking for. It also gives you some suggestions to improve your resume. So, for example, do you have any Python, Tableau skills? You may want to highlight this type of topics. It also recommends you the 30-second elevator pitch right off the bat. So it basically gives you all the questions, answers to all the questions that you most likely will want to have. This is what we call the whole, gives you the whole enchilada. So what are the most likely interview questions? What is the salary range that you might be that this position may be offering, and so on. So this is when you have this type of information, and this is just the first one question, you are a lot more prepared to go to the interview. Sound like you understand the company, you understand the position, and you are and your resume and your preparation is a good match. Now, of course, you cannot just say you know Python, but you may want to take a course, an introductory course in Python or Tableau.
More specific.
Well, just so it's not a good idea to lie on your resume. Could be reason for dismissal later on. But for example, I could say if I'm interested in improving my skills, I could look for a course on to take a Python introductory course or a micro credential on Python, for example. So that is something that you can also find out through these tools. So let's move a little. Now on the links here, you have the job board, the GPT that I was using. There is also a link to JobScan, which is one of the potential applications. This is a paid application. Before you get to paying for this type of applications, try first the free versions. And even just the paid ChatGPT would probably be cheaper than the job scan, and it does a lot more than just the job scan. But if you're more interested in getting in a lot of detail, this will help you, for example, create a ATS proof version of your resume and so on. No, and it probably covers some of the things that we've been discussing as well. So this is a third-party application. We don't. Just so you're aware, there must be at least 100 of this type. JobScan is one of them. So there's quite a variety of tools. But again, I would start with the free ones and then progress from that point.
So I have a question.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes, so we have this tracking system, the ATS, that you say is kind of a rustic functionality that the large companies are using. But in the other hand, we have ChatGPT, and we can get from the ChatGPT very good example of how our resume should be, the keywords, the experience, how to write our elevator pitch, etc. But then we will need to go through the ATS. So we are talking about two different systems. One is very useful, very easy to use, the ChatGPT. We can ask about the company that we want to apply, etc. But then we need to pass to the tracking system.
Yes, the ATS is a system that is used by the employers, by the recruiters.
Yes, exactly. But if we are doing a great job with ChatGPT. We have the perfect resume. Yeah. We investigate about the company, so we think that we are the perfect fit.
Yep. Yeah, and at that point you submit your application, and then it's on the employer side. So now the employer systems are when you apply, you click on apply, upload your resume or whatever they ask you for. Then is their ATS, their tracking system is receiving that information, and then they will process it. The advantage of the tools we have is that they will help you prepare to be more likely to pass the ATS filters.
Okay. Oh, I got it.
But you have no control over. I mean, that's part of the bank or whoever you're applying at. And in many cases, this might be software as a service application. So it's something that is not necessarily even managed by the bank or the employer. It may be managed by a third party for them. And that's why it's important to try to get in front of the person that needs your services, which probably would be your future manager. And that will be most likely on the second interview. If you don't get there, you won't be able to convince them how fantastic you are. So all this is to try to make sure that you get past the initial filters and roadblocks that are presented to you.
Okay. Makes sense.
Yeah. Now, you were asking about branding. I think there is a presentation on that as well, but definitely you have to be, and LinkedIn is a fact of life. Not necessarily, and you can apply through LinkedIn as well and so on, but to have a proper LinkedIn profile is extremely important. These are some of the best practices for it. And things that I find and sometimes is distressing, a person that has no LinkedIn, to me, it does not exist. If I'm a recruiter or even to partner with or anything.
There is not excuse for not having.
Yes, and also you should have
And updated also must be
Oh
updated.
yeah, I see so many that are still, they show I'm in Guatemala, but I've been studying here for 3 years. So okay, so which one is it? Update your location, your studies, and so on. But make sure that you have enough connections. I see a lot of people that have like 28 connections. I mean, how serious is that? If either you're not very social, you're not very friendly, or you just not taking it seriously enough.
Also, we can use ChatGPT to improve our LinkedIn profile. To help us to write the perfect first phrases and.
Yeah, and also, I'll just go quickly to ChatGPT here, because if you're looking for a job in a particular field, you probably should also write some articles in that field and post the articles in LinkedIn. So it is something that will be could be useful. So, for example, if I'm looking for a job in project management, yes, go. Now, again, this is where where I'm saying don't just leave it all to the GPT. You should also have a part on it. I'll use the standard free one for all. So this is just basic ChatGPT, Gemini, Claude, any of them. If I want to write a LinkedIn article or a blog, so I just say I need a blog about the importance of AI in project management. I think we had a session about that on the 13th. But if I'm professing to be in this field, then I could probably be able to say something. So this writes a very basic, probably too extensive, in fact, dissertation about AI in project management. Now, I could just copy this and post it in LinkedIn. That wouldn't be very professional and it wouldn't be very useful. But it could be a good start for what I'm trying to do. If I'm posting it in LinkedIn or a blog, you may want to also have an image that goes with it. So I could say, make me a pretty image to go with this blog. I cannot draw a stick person, so for me, this is probably my only way to get a half decent graphic, short of having to go to a graphic designer. So, okay, there's a graph. It's very obviously created by AI, so you probably don't even need to say this was created by AI. But it has it could be a good start to do a posting. If you, like many of us, have a profile in a different language, you may want to also post in a different language. So I can say, okay, I want to translate that blog to Portuguese. And then I get the same post, and so now I have a post in English and Portuguese or French about the topic that I'm supposed to be interested in. So it helps you create some content for your social media presence and so on, and it is definitely good, very very good content. But you shouldn't take it as the final product. You should really make an effort to make it yours, to present it as yourself. So it's not because otherwise you're falling in that trap where who needs you if this is if this is done by AI.
As you say, in the beginning we need to do our self-assessment. So what I would like to transmit, or what kind of message I want to transmit to my LinkedIn profile. And then we can start from there, right? I want to talk about project management, product management, etc. But that's because we did the work the homework first, right? Our
Yeah.
self-assessment. And I have a question from Victoria.
Mhm.
How is creating articles using AI being seen? To me, it feels like cheating. Oh, well, it's what I was saying, Victoria, that you need to say, you need to think about what kind of message do you want to deliver to the people who are following you or recruiters. What do you want to say? And then you can write a draft, and then you can use ChatGPT to enhance that message in a question format or in the format that will be somehow interesting. So you are not cheating because you need the message is yours, but the way you want to present it, we need a little help from the AI.
That's right. Yeah, and the prompt that I entered was a very simple question. If you really want to create an article about that topic, then you probably would give a lot more background to the GPT to create something that is more aligned. No, like AI in project management is too generic. You may want to write on something like the history of project management and how AI is going to improve it and so on, and then take that as the initial step, the initial point to then create something good. So this is, think of it as an assistant, as an intern, is something that is just giving you a first draft, but then the rest should be yours. Because if you don't even understand what you wrote, you go to the interview, they ask you about your article, you don't know anything about it, and you're fired before the first interview, and that's not good. You're probably blacklisted as well. So definitely it's good for researching and getting things started, but not to bypass the work. You may have heard in the last few months, Amazon no longer allows you to post more than 3 books per day. If you're selling books in Amazon, until a few months ago, people could post as many new books as they wanted. Now there is a rule from Amazon, you cannot post more than 3 books a day. Exactly because of this. Like, people were creating books like crazy. They all are just done by AI, and then they are selling them on Amazon, and Amazon's, I mean, 3 books a day I think is a lot.
Exactly. It's a lot, yes.
I mean, for me, 3 books in a lifetime would be a lot, but it's obvious that they are also running into the problem of people just posting content that is AI
that is
generated.
not close to their heart. As you say,
And
you need to be close to
it's
your
not
heart.
contributing. You should contribute to the knowledge, to the body of knowledge in your field, not just regurgitate it through AI. So let me, as far as preparing and applying for the interview, I did an example before, but this is, I'll show you a couple of other things you can ask about it. But I think it's important to do the research up front and identify the companies, first the industries and then the companies within those industries that you want to work with. So there's no point sending 1,000 applications. Maybe send 10 very well-researched, relevant applications, and then you're more likely that you will be getting something. Using LinkedIn or other networks, networking events and so on to connect with people in those organizations, building your online brand and keeping an eye on the company to see what projects they're doing, what's in the news and so on. And do not adapt your resume too much to present an application, because then it also feels like it's fake, that you're 100% match. How likely is that? So and then your LinkedIn profile could be consulted, and then it's obvious that you're just making things up as well. So,
well, Carlos is 17 past 7.
yep.
So do you have any slides left? Or...
Oh, I have many. No, there are.
Or let's wrap up the session.
There is. Let me see. Oh, yeah, 2 slides.
2 more slides. Okay.
Yeah. So one, and these are fairly quick ones as well. One is let's see. On the screening interview, again, this is covered on some of the sessions on the mentorship program. Don't go too deep with a poor HR person. don't go into technical terms with an HR person. Preparing for the interview, there is the first half of the interview, which are all the introductions and icebreakers and so on. For each of these, you should be able to prepare with particularly using things like AI. For example, questions like the challenges that the company is experiencing, and understanding that, understanding the different teams and the structure of the company and so on. So you know what what you're preparing for, and then to actually do the answering of the questions, the interview session itself. And here I'll mention the tool. One of the other tools that is also in our linked on our website. Now for this one, go away. For this one, you do need a user ID. Is the role play, improve your pitch applications. These are AI tools that allow you to prepare for interviews and for delivering your elevator pitch and so on. All the mentees that graduate will receive the access to this application. So you can, in the presentation on the website, you can see the links and some of the videos about how it works and so on. Yvette is our resident expert on that application, and she will be also conducting the training sessions after the graduation. So this would be,
of course, looking forward to it. Yes.
Yeah, and it would be the access passwords will be handed out to all the graduating mentees on the 13th of November, when we're doing the final graduation of the mentorship and celebration of our 15th anniversary as well. So that, okay. And then in the same, towards the end of the presentation, there are a number of other tools as well. Like I mentioned JobScan before, that's one of them. There is others that you might want to consider. The link to role play and improve your pitch are here as well. But again, the Hispanotech tools, those are available for free, and the link is on that presentation as well. Let's okay. I won't bother you with the short term and medium term of this. So I'll stop it at that point. In case there's any time for questions as well.
Let me double check. I will say a lot of thank yous for your presentation. I think they were very useful for us, and the presentation will be available at the maternity platform, right?
Yeah.
So we will. If you want to see again all the tools, but also the tools are available in the website, at Hispanotech website.
That's right. And the presentation only included 2 of the topics of the slide deck includes 5 more topics, which are more about what's AI, how it works, and so on. But in this one, we focused on the job search portion of it.
Well, I think, well, it's time to wrap up. Thank you everyone for staying a little bit longer, but I think these tools are important for us. And it seems that it's a lot of work to do, but we can start small, right? Start small and then add more tasks to our job journey, etc. And in a matter of time, we will be there. And thank you, Carlos, for your presentation. I think it's worth sharing all the tools and all the possibilities or the opportunities we have to enhance our profile, our resume, our job searching, etc.
Yeah, and researching about the industries and the companies is probably
exactly
just as important.
It's very
before
important.
you go through that door, make sure it's the door you want to go through.
That's correct. That's correct. Okay. Well, thank you again, everyone. I was very happy to see you around.